Welcome everyone to today's demo on the new features in Beest 11.10. My name is Dmitry and I will be presenting the demo today. So what has changed in Beest 11.10 is that we fixed 2 bugs in the Beest software, and then we've added a new feature to our Max DCO and T viewer. And I will go over these items in detail. We fixed a bug on the edit sources form, then one with importing AirMod input files or UTA files. And then the main new feature is that now the Max DCO and T viewer can save a graphics file, which it could not do previously. All right, so the edit sources form is used when you go into Beest, display your inputs graphically, and then add a new source. And what happened previously is that if you were adding a point source, there was a runtime error that happened when you entered a point source diameter. And in Beest 11.10, this is no longer the case. And what I'm going to do now is open the Beest software and go ahead and show to you how this works now. All right, so I have an example site on my screen, and now I want to add a new point source. So I go over to the left side, click the Add Point Source button, and point to a location on the screen, such as here to the west of my building. And now when I start entering the data for that new point source, there's no longer going to be an error after I enter the diameter. So let's go ahead and enter the stack height and other values here. And now when I enter the stack diameter, as you will see, this now works, and you can go ahead and enter the rest of the values and enter your point source. I also need to enter the emission rate, and now I can go ahead and click OK, and my point source will be there. So that's what has been fixed on that form. Next, we have another bug fix in Beest as well, and this has to do with the particle deposition values. Now, particle deposition is something that you don't use that often, but when you do, it's located on the DEP tab in Source Options. And what happened previously is that when you were importing those values from an image file, not all of them were imported. And I have a screenshot on the next slide of what that looked like. And this has now been fixed in the latest version as well. So what that looks like is that we have several deposition groups, and in this one, we have 15 sets of density values, but not as many diameters or mass fractions. So these values are on the left here are missing. And in the latest version, they are all imported. So now again, if I go to Beest and say File Import, and select this generic AirMod file, I can show what that looks like. So I select my file and say Import. And now the import is finished, so I click Close. And now when I go to that same deposition tab, all of my values are there, so all 15 sets of values are there. And again, this had to do with just importing the values from a file, not entering them yourself. That part did work. So now in Beest version 11.10, all the values have been imported into Beest. All right, and finally, in our Max DCONT viewer, we can now save a graphics file based on the outputs that you're viewing in that program. You can save the sectors, concentrations, and/or sources and buildings if you're displaying them. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Max DCONT viewer program and show you what that looks like as well. Sorry. Okay, so in this program, I'm going to open a test file that's shipped with the software, this Max DCONT 5 years file. I'll click OK, and now what we have here, if I zoom in, is that we have several sources, buildings, and concentrations here, which are maybe a little bit more, which are the fourth high values. And now if I hide our sources, we can see those values a little bit better. And we're displaying the I think it's the fourth highest values for the source group all. So now what's new in this version is that now I can say file and save a graphics file. And this will save an image of the area that's on the right side of the program. So if I do that, select my file name, and the program will fill in a default value for you and say save. Now if I go to that folder where our file was located, you can now see this image. And if I open that in my Paint software, you will see that it saved exactly what we were viewing. So this file is based on both the zoom in value in the program as well as the values that you're showing or hiding. So if I were to put the buildings back in, those would show up here on this image. And images like this can be pasted into a report or just saved if you want to share them if you want to share your results with your coworkers or again in a report. All right, so those are the features in version 11.10. I will now go ahead and unmute everybody and go ahead and take questions. Thank you for viewing this demo.